Many think that phantoms and ghosts only exist in scary movies. But here are some people who caught some actual paranormal and bizarre things on tape. I've fact-checked all of these to make sure they're not edited. From a woman who believes her maid may be possessed, to a homeowner who caught what I think is the most convincing ghost footage I've ever seen. Let's look at some scary videos I bet you can't handle watching through all the way to the end. Phantom. This one comes from a Reddit user named 1Dante1. One night, Dante was working in his garage. Outside his house, there are various trail cameras. These are motion sensor cameras which can see at night. He had put these out because he had lost his cat. But instead of catching his feline friend, one of his trail cameras caught something truly terrifying. As you can see, a white phantom figure can be seen entering from the right of the camera. Now, because this triggered a motion sensor, this means it was a physical thing, not some kind of shadow. But what exactly is it? The phantom is in the shape of a thin human, and if you look closely you can actually see through it, meaning it's opaque, kind of like a ghost. I've done my best to enhance this video and clean it up so we can see it in a better view. This is still unexplained, but to me it's the best footage of an apparition or phantom I've ever seen. I will continue to monitor this Reddit user in case he posts any updates and share it with you guys. TikTok Ghost. TikTok is a pretty innocuous app. Most of it consists of people doing dances and lip syncs. But in one seemingly innocent TikTok, something scary is hidden in the background. This was uploaded by a TikToker from Barbados named Naomi. She was dancing as if it was just her and the person filming, but there was actually someone else watching over her shoulder. In the darkened hallway behind her appears to be someone with long, dark hair. The pale-faced figure can be seen behind her for a few seconds, but then disappears into the shadows. Again, I've enhanced this video so that we can get a better look. This could be a creepy voyeur spying on this girl, but seeing as the person filming didn't seem to realize this, perhaps it's a ghost that they couldn't see. I think if something like this happened in one of my TikTok videos, I'd have to delete the app. Possessed Maid. In March, a wealthy woman in Singapore set up some cameras around her house. She did this for security, but instead of catching a burglar, she caught her maid doing something strange. The footage was taken in Nurul Baker's apartment, and she was terrified when she saw her maid acting bizarrely. Her maid was in a creepy white dress and walking around like a zombie. As you can see, she's leaning forward with her hands behind her back. At one point, she looks into the camera and points to the right. Some online have speculated that perhaps she was pointing to what was possessing her. Nurul, the apartment owner, said, "It's lucky my mother and kids weren't home." I'm not sure whether the maid knew the camera was there or if she wanted the homeowner to see this. But either way, it's very unsettling. Another person commented, "You'd better let her go, you don't want any antics around your apartment. And you definitely don't want her to poison your drinks or food." Do you think this maid was really possessed? If not, what's going on here? Ghost Highway. You will be pretty stunned when you know the backstory to this video. On the surface, it looks creepy, but not exactly unexplainable. It's taken from a dash cam of a car. The dark road with no streetlights is in the middle of nowhere. So that's why it's so creepy that there's a woman dressed in all white walking down it all alone. But you may be thinking, what if someone just created this video with a friend of theirs? Well, here's where things get creepy. This footage is from a YouTube channel named Old Guy Garage. This is a YouTube channel which exclusively talks about the guy's Lamborghini car. He has no other paranormal videos except this one on his channel, meaning it was likely not planned. He was returning from a car expo in Orlando, Florida, and that's when he saw this woman in a white dress walking very fast all alone. I've enhanced this video and slowed it down, and it seems like this woman is not wearing modern clothing. Maybe she is one of the classic Victorian-style ghosts that we see in movies. To make things even more scary, the next day, Old Guy Garage went on Google Maps to find out where this road was. Using Google Maps, he realized he was driving past a 200-year-old cemetery. So perhaps this is a spirit from that cemetery. I can't think of any other reason why this woman would be walking down this dark road in the middle of the night. Ghost House. It's pretty easy for people to try and debunk ghost videos on surveillance cameras. They often say it's simply a shadow or perhaps edited in. But it's slightly harder when the same ghost is caught on 3 security cameras. That's the case with one Reddit user who posted this video online. One Ocelot4 said he'd been seeing many ghosts caught on surveillance cameras in his apartment. This strange shadow enters into his kitchen and then goes into his living room and also another room. All of his windows and shutters were closed, meaning this is not simply light or something that flew in. He also mentioned in his post that sometimes in his apartment he feels cold spots randomly. And when he leaves his house, sometimes his security cameras malfunction and turn off. If this dark apparition is not a ghost, I have no idea what it could be. Some commented on the video saying that the ghost seems harmless, but I would still be incredibly unnerved if I knew a paranormal being was living in my house rent-free. Haunted clock. This terrifying footage was taken by a nurse in an NHS hospital in the UK. This nurse was working the night shift at their hospital. That's when one of their patients passed on at 3:11 AM. 45 minutes later, porters arrived to transport the patient away. That's when the nurse went to log the passing in their computer. Of course, to do this, they needed to know the time, so they looked at the clock. But that's when their jaw dropped as they saw their analog clock was moving all by itself. This happened exactly 1 hour after the patient passed, almost as if his spirit may be controlling the analog clock. The only way to set this clock is using the dial on the back. The person who filmed this said that normally they're a skeptic and they don't believe in ghosts. But this is simply unexplainable. Stalker. This footage is not paranormal, just plain scary. It was captured by various security cameras in Russia. As you can see, a young girl is walking into her apartment. As you can see, a young girl is walking into a building. But there's a man behind her following closely. Everywhere the little girl goes, the man follows. He's clearly trying to keep his distance in order to not look suspicious. She goes up the stairs and the man follows. And every turn she takes, the guy also follows. But thankfully, this girl is street smart. She pretends that she's going one way, but then turns around and goes the other way. The man then tries to go into the elevator thinking she's gone into it, but she hasn't. Then when he realizes he's been tricked by the girl, he turns around to try and follow her again. The girl actually left the building to get her father, and as the man leaves the building, he passes the girl and her father. Surprisingly though, the girl said nothing to her dad. Otherwise, I'm sure her father would not have been happy with what this man tried to do. Thankfully though, this clip went viral in Russia. Hopefully this man can be spoken to so that he never does this again. Coffee ghost. This surveillance footage is taken in a coffee shop in the USA. One barista is making a drink when all of a sudden a cup to the left of her moves on its own. Her hands are both doing things, so it wasn't her. And it seems like something magnetic pushed the plastic cup. The cup didn't slip on any liquid as it moved way too rapidly. It also wasn't blown by a breeze because the door was closed and the AC vent was turned off. So if you go here for your morning brew, maybe you should watch out for any poltergeists. Who knows, maybe this ghost simply wanted to play as a barista. Brazilian ghost. Brazil has one of the highest prison populations per capita. Some prisons which were built for 300,000 inmates hold more than 600,000. So that's why it may not be too surprising that a ghost was caught in a Brazilian prison. On prison surveillance footage, a black apparition can be seen in the prison courtyard. The dark shadow looks around the courtyard and then goes back inside. Interestingly, the ghost does not exit the prison, almost like it can't leave. Maybe prisoners in the afterlife are stuck in prison forever. Let me know what you make of this clip. Any ghost video is scary, but when it's in a prison, it makes it all the more creepy. Quarantine demon. No one likes being holed up in their house quarantined, but it's even worse when you have to share your home with a demon. One man named Donnie had been sensing evil coming from his hallway. He got a camera device which was capable of tracking movement, and as you can see, there seems to be something moving around in his hallway. The motion appears to be a long shape, almost like a human with arms and legs. It moves frantically in the machine, but his camera picks up nothing. Most people don't own motion sensor cameras, but if you set one up in your house, I wonder what you would find. Maybe it's better not to know. Toxic water. This video will likely make you think twice about drinking from your tap. A YouTuber named Talal Essa went to brush their teeth one night, but when they turned on their faucet, the water was totally black. The video goes on for an entire minute and the water never clears up. Some have said this could have been heavy metal buildup inside the water. Others say that perhaps toxic waste got into the water and contaminated it. But whatever's going on here, it really gives me the creeps, as this could happen to anyone. But now it's time to make your voice heard. Comment below which was the scariest video on this list. If you want some more amazing videos, then check out my second channel. But as always, thanks for watching. There are some more videos you may like on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.